Good morning. I have had some pretty intense conversations with clients, potential clients, people wanting to come to the retreat, and just getting a feel for where people are and what they're feeling. And one of the things that's extremely challenging is that we only see what other people present. And so when we come onto a social media platform, when we are reading a book, when we are listening to a podcast, whatever it is, we are getting that information right there, right then and there. And people can present whatever they want to present. And when you're running a company, when you're a business owner, there is pressure that comes from so many different directions. And because there is that pressure can also disconnect us. It can disconnect us from ourselves. It can disconnect us from real life. It can disconnect us in our relationships. And it is really important for us to acknowledge this pressure, because when we are women with a pure, driven desire to succeed, that is something that just kind of comes with the territory. The issue here is that a lot of women have accepted a certain level of pressure that is unhealthy and are accepting that and normalizing it as just part of what we do. And while it is very easy to accept that, especially as a female CEO, as a woman running a business, as somebody who we have this ambition and this drive, that we are unwilling to quit. We are unwilling to do anything that could possibly set us back. And what that leads to for many of us, and I've been there as well, is some sort of sacrifice, whether that sacrifice comes from your relationships, your relationship with your partner or your children, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your mind, your relationship with your body. And once again, this has just been normalized because we want to succeed. And so it's this lens of really asking ourselves, what are we normalizing? I remember that when I was living in my 10 years of self-destruction, I knew that what I was participating in, I knew the choices that I was making were self-destructive. I knew that the choices that I was making were not for my highest good. And I knew that they weren't good choices, period. But a lot of the reasons why I stayed in that darkness for so long was because I put myself specifically in environments in which it was normalized. And so we're seeing this so much with female entrepreneurship, with women run businesses, is that it is normalized that you have traded your 9-to-5 for a 24/7. It is normalized that you are experiencing chronic levels of stress. It is normalized that you are putting your desires on the back burner because it's hidden underneath this agenda that we call, hustle. It's hidden underneath this feeling that we connect it to our ambition. And what I want to tell you today is that there is an enormous amount of pressure to succeed because of who we are, because of what's been ingrained in us, because we are conditioned. And for a lot of us overachievers, we feel like we have something to prove. We feel like that in order for us to succeed, there is this driving force of, I will not quit because this is my passion, this is my purpose. And whether it is healthy or unhealthy or a combination of both, what it ends up being is pressure. And so we carry that pressure with us, but we have to really think about sustainability and longevity. And this is what we have to consider as not just as business owners, but as women. It's so easy for us to forget that we are living the human experience. It's so easy to forget that we aren't robots, that just because we are successful, because we've hit certain milestones, because we have the ability to succeed and create a ripple effect and impact the world in different ways, we still are human. And the more that we deny that humanness, the more that we forget to honor that human experience, to honor our human emotions, to give ourselves the things that we need, not as a business owner, but as a human, as a woman, the deeper we get into that darkness. And the more we can surround ourselves in and put ourselves in environments and in rooms to where that is normalized, to where it's okay to stay up all night working. It's okay to not take care of yourself. It's okay to feel exhausted all the time and drink coffee all day. And what I'm here to tell you is that that's not sustainable. It's not your best choice. It's not going to enhance your quality of life. And how quickly we forget as business owners, why did we start? Because we wanted to make the rules, because we wanted to feel free from having to answer to anybody else. And then we bury ourselves by trying to provide an elite level product, an elite level service, which is part of what we need to retain and continue to grow. But what I'm calling you into today is a reminder of your choice. A reminder that you get to choose how you show up in your life and your business. That you can't let your business take your power away. And if you do, that is by choice. There is an immense amount of pressure to succeed because we are women. There is an immense amount of pressure to succeed because we are mothers wanting to change the generations that follow us, because we are wanting to be bigger and better and create more impact and make more money and do everything bigger and more. And that's beautiful, and we should hold on to that. But what I'm telling you is, in order to achieve that, there has to be some pullback. So oftentimes when I'm speaking to clients, I will use training analogies, and I think about business a lot of times like it's endurance, okay? You're in it for the long game. Nobody started their business to be like, this would be fun to just do for like a year. You start your business, and what you want is an upward trajectory. You want continued growth. You want to be able to sustain. You want to be able to grow, sustain that, grow more, sustain that, grow more. That is the ideal. Make a bigger impact. How can I scale? That is what business owners we are always looking for, right? And so our eyes get locked on the scaling piece, and we forget to insert the little contract terms with ourselves of who am I, what am I sacrificing to scale, and or who do I actually need to be in order to hold that higher capacity? So in this process of scaling, when we have this drive and we are like, yes, we are building an empire. We are building something that is my legacy. These are things that I know because I'm actively doing it. My business, I haven't just built a coaching business. I have multiple businesses, and my legacy doesn't just stand in the interactions that I have with clients. It stands in every interaction, every conversation that I have in every single business. How can I impact more? How can I do more? How can I be more? But the only way that I am able to do that is because I pay attention to what I need, not what the business needs, what I need. The business needs, the children's needs, everybody that you are responsible for, your team's needs, Those things you keep pushing to the front, and you say, after this happens, then I will take care of myself. After this happens, then I will do that. And that is the pressure to succeed, because you keep telling yourself the lie that once you get to a certain point, then you will be able to step back. What I'm telling you in this training analogy is that when you are training for endurance, you train for endurance by practicing endurance and intervals. You have to be able to have a steady pace. You have to be able to have a jog pace. You have to be able to have a walk pace. You have to be able to have a run pace. And you have to be able to, as a business owner, hold your power in all of those paces. When stuff slows down, are you freaking out and becoming reactive? When stuff speeds up, are you first to put yourself on the back burner? What has to happen here, as women who feel that immense pressure to succeed, is that we have to know that that pressure exists and be preventative in a plan for how will we counteract that pressure. Because pressure, if it's just continuous pressure, will break you. But pressure that is met with breaks, breaths, breakthroughs, rest, restoration, relaxation, that allows for endurance. That allows for sustainability. It's so amazing to me what I've witnessed since I've been doing this since 2011, what I've witnessed in the rise and the fall of so many businesses, because so many people are locked on the short term. So many people are telling themselves that if there's one thing that will unlock that next level and they'll be set. There's one system, there is one coach, there is one strategy. And the truth of this is that the focus on the short term, the continued focus on just getting what you need in that moment to feel that sense of relief, to feel that sense of safety in your business, is actually prolonging your success, because you're not looking at what matters. The pressure to succeed exists. The pressure to succeed will always exist because of who you are and the choice that you have made to run a business. But how are you counteracting that pressure is my question. How are you allowing yourself to be able to handle the pressure? Because a lot of times we seek that instant gratification or those solutions for the quick term, but if we aren't actually getting to the root cause, if we aren't restructuring our businesses and our lives, our minds and our bodies to allow for consistent pressure, then it never gets solved. And so then it is normalized to feel a sense of pressure, and we tell ourselves this is just the way it is. It doesn't need to feel that way. Business doesn't need to feel that way. You don't need to be chronically stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. You started your business for freedom and to enhance your quality of life. You started your business to make a lot of money so that you could do the things that you wanted to do. And so let's not lose sight of that long-term vision. And let's not lose sight of the reality of you being a human. When it comes to the pressure to succeed, it is important, once again, that you have things in place to counteract that pressure. Instead of trying to eliminate the pressure, it is part of the path that we have chosen. Because we will put that pressure on ourselves as overachieving women who deeply care about impact and results and what we want to build in our time in this place. There will always be pressure there. But don't become a victim to that pressure because you are unwilling to do things and put things in place to counteract that pressure. Things like boundaries, things like standards, things like putting yourself first. These are things that terrify us as women because we think that if I put this in place, I will leave somebody behind, I will lose something. And the reality of that is that this is how the actual foundation is built. So if you're a business owner and what you are seeking is short term, then this is not the place for you. If you are a business owner and you are wanting success long term, this is the place for you. Because that is the place that I speak from, that is the place that I mentor from, that is the place that I teach from. I have been an entrepreneur since 2011. I have worked in multiple industries. I have built multiple businesses. And I have done that without sacrificing my own well-being because I care about longevity. So with you caring about longevity, with you understanding, yes, there is pressure to succeed. Yes, part of the issue in the industry of being a woman in business is that I have put myself in situations and seen there's stuff all over. Any place you look into that's a group of women business owners, there is going to be some normalization of emotional suppression, of, chronic anxiety, overwhelm, stress. All of those things are like, oh yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. But it's just part of it. No, it is not. It is part of it if you let it be. Is it hard? Absolutely. Absolutely. Running a business is not for everybody. It's truly not. But if you choose this and you want it to last, you have to start paying attention to how you're going to counteract that pressure. How are you breaking? How are you setting up your schedule? This starts with such small changes that we are so afraid to make. But they matter. Setting up breaks, setting up times to restore yourself, setting up intentional moments to where you are peeling off all your titles, all your hats, all your coats, all your responsibilities, and just getting to be yourself. I want you to think about how a lot of times when we are so busy in our day-to-day that at a certain point, running your business feels like checking a box. And if you really care about your legacy and the impact that you're creating in the world, do you want it to feel like that? It's a question that not a lot of business owners ask themselves that I will always ask my clients is, how do you want running a business to feel? Because if you believe that running a business is exhausting, stressful, you're always overwhelmed, you don't get to really do what you want to do because you're always on, that's another one. I'm always on. I'm answering emails all times. I'm at the service of my clients. Are you? Or are you just so afraid to set boundaries and make somebody mad because you are a conditioned people pleaser and you don't want your business to fail? But what I'm here to tell you is that setting boundaries, communicating clearly, not being afraid to ask for what you want first is actually how you're going to counteract the consistent pressure and set yourself up for sustainability. I deeply care about all of my clients, all the people that are in my world. If you're here with me, listening, watching, it's everything that I put out is as a reminder of you can enjoy your life and make a really big impact in this world. You can do both, but you have to be clear on what you will and won't allow, how you want it to feel, how you don't want it to feel. What are the areas? And we're so disconnected from ourselves because of the busyness that doesn't happen. So we need those intentional breaks. And what that intentional break looks like, you will vary from person to person, but I would invite you to look at your schedule and look at, do you have those intentional breaks? Are you the first one to, when you're scheduling those breaks for yourself, to let it go? I had a woman tell me at my monthly roundtable that she has rescheduled a dentist appointment multiple times and not been to the dentist because she works instead. That's not an option. That is fear-based. If you're running your business from a place of fear, that's exhausting. That is energetically going to exhaust you. And that's going to create a whole nother layer of stress for you. Is it stressful sometimes? Absolutely. Is it hard sometimes? Absolutely. Is this for everybody? Absolutely not. There is pressure to succeed as an overachiever woman who wants to make an impact in this world. But how are you counteracting the pressure? How do you want to feel in your business? And if you want business to feel better, you need to make some changes inside and outside of the business. You need to start implementing boundaries. You need to have intentional rest, restoration, time off. You need to actually hold to the boundaries you say you're setting. You need to stop bending over backwards at the expense of yourself. People can and will wait. Boundaries create respect. Exactly, Corey. You get to, and you deserve to check out. It is so hard, especially when we love what we do. Some of my greatest ideas will come to me like when I'm falling asleep or when I'm waking up in the morning. And so there is that freedom that we have to act on that excitement, which is wonderful. But if we are chronically stressed and always and not able to turn off, that's not sustainable. Think about what you're doing, what your schedule looks like right now, how you're showing up for yourself, how you're showing up for your family. Do you feel good about that, or do you want to change it? And if you want to change it, we can do that. But you have to be willing and ready and able to say, you know what? I'm going to accept responsibility for buying into the 24/7 hustle, for buying into what's been normalized to put my desires on the back burner. When was the last time you sat down and had a conversation with a friend just to be friends and it wasn't business related? When was the last time that you did something for fun? When was the last time you jumped out of an airplane? Because I did it a couple weeks ago. This has to be part of your success plan, is honoring you as the woman, as the leader. When you pour into you, you can pour into everybody else. When you rest, when you step back, when you allow for moments, days, weeks, whatever it is, of recalibration, it's like a slingshot. The fear says that if we step back, if we slow down, if we rest, if we turn off, we will fail. Something will happen. A fire will start. A client will quit. A contract will cancel. Whatever it is, that is not the case. If I don't move my schedule around, if I don't accommodate them, I won't. That's not the case. What it does do is it honors you and builds a better relationship with you. It creates respect between the mutual parties. And it gives you the space that you need. This is actually this feeling the pressure to succeed, being an overachiever, having to wear multiple hats, multiple titles, having to do all the doing all the time, constantly from one thing to another, whether it's business to momming to business, planning, meetings, all the things. This is one of the reasons why I intentionally crafted the power retreat in the way that I did. Because I knew what I needed. I knew what my clients needed. And I decided I'm going to create the perfect space for both. I'm going to create a space in which we can come, and I want you to visualize this, walking through a door, and the heaviness that you carry, the heaviness of being in charge of a team, the heaviness of being in charge of a bunch of clients, the heaviness of making responsibilities all day, of making decisions all day, the heaviness of all of your responsibilities gets left at the door. And you leave it at the door, but then when you leave, you don't pick it back up and it doesn't feel the same. And I'm going to tell you why. Because part of the heaviness of the pressure and the responsibilities is it feels heavier because of the lack of fulfillment and attention to you as the human. So if we have things in place, once again, to where we are directly pouring into ourselves, things feel lighter. I want you to think about, if you are a mom, how the same situation could happen and you will respond in two different ways based upon how you're feeling that day. My kids do some crazy shit. 6, 4, and 1. Somebody's breaking something, coloring on something, pulling out a whole roll of toilet paper. Something is always happening. And there are days where I have yelled and been mad, and there are days where I've laughed. What's the difference in those 2 days? How I felt. How much I was pouring into myself. And so I want you to imagine how much of a better mother, wife, partner, leader, sister you would be if you were pouring into yourself. And that is why, going back to our visualization here, you walk through this door, you take all of it off. You just take it all off. You're bare, you're you. And then you walk in and you are immediately poured into in a way that you haven't poured into yourself. Because I know that your friendships, building friendships as an adult woman is hard enough. Building friendships as an adult woman running a business is 2 times harder. Building friendships as an adult woman running a business and raising kids is like 20 times harder. So friendships and the isolation that comes with running a business is a real thing. So you take everything off at the door, and then you come in and instantly there is a warmth. There is this feeling of a deep exhale of I just get to be and have conversations, and I don't have to be anywhere or pick anybody up or be in any meetings. And everything that I am going to participate in the next few days is going to be something that lifts me, something that makes me happier, something that brings me joy, something that ignites me. That is, every piece of my retreat is structured for that. It is so intentionally crafted. It is not a place where you come and we're opening our laptops and planning stuff next to each other. That's not what you need. That's not what you need. That's a VIP day. We can do that separately if that's what you want. What you need to alleviate, to counteract pressure is to be out of isolation, to take off all the hats, to take off all the titles, to not have to make decisions. One of the things I actually give clients as homework is you need to go stay at a hotel for a night, not bring any of your computer, your work stuff with you. You just need to go. Because we won't do that for ourselves because we're scared. We're scared of what will happen without our presence. So this is an invitation for you if you are in the place of what I've said to you has resonated and you're like, I am the overachiever. I do feel the pressure to succeed. I put an immense amount of pressure for me to continue to grow, to scale, to make the biggest impact possible. I am not taking the time that I need, and fun and play and joy are not even things that are in like the forefront of my mind because they seem so far out of reach. connection. These are things that have to be prioritized, and these are things that are going on the back burner. That's how you counteract that pressure. So the pressure exists just like hardship exists in our life as a whole, but you can counteract that pressure. I would love to talk to you about the Power Retreat, or I'm now doing a special for a VIP day along with the Power Retreat. So you get me one-on-one for a whole day in person, as well as the retreat. So it's just really time for you to think about, yes, you have a business to run. Yes, you have a household to run. I know that it's easy to feel like you don't have the time or the space to devote to yourself, but creating that time will be the most important thing that you do for the longevity and the sustainability, not just of your business, but your life. Being a part of my mentorship, my retreat, my VIP day, making these structural changes and going through the processes that I teach, it can save your relationships. It can save your business. It sets you up for, once again, long-term success. So if you are interested in long-term success, if you want to set up your business in a way to where it doesn't have to be you running yourself into the ground and you feeling chronically stressed and anxious and overwhelmed and isolated, then let's have a conversation. We can find the best space for you. The Power Retreat is open. There are a few spots available. We can talk about that. And once again, I have the special offering of putting together an in-person VIP day, which is where we spend 6 to 8 hours, a full day together, locked in and going through everything inside and outside your business. So you have a very clear roadmap for the future of your life and your business and what your leadership looks like and what the business looks like, where it's set up for that sustainability and that longevity. So any questions about any of this, please feel free to send me a DM. I'm always open for conversations and just making sure that it's the best space for you. But I really would encourage you, if you are looking for a place to land, if you are recognizing that you are really missing true, pure connection and you want to be able to connect with other like-minded women, you know that you need to pour into yourself and you're not making time for that, the Power Retreat is a great, great option for you. So let me know what questions you have. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to all of you soon.